All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and the glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha Kodash, which I given me the spirit and the strength to do this lesson. Wa Shalom, Salakia. And I also want to give them honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Wa Shalom, Wa Barakim to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, which I scattered abroad, and in every place, redeeming the time ready to be saved. Shalom. All right. Pretty much, you see this article right here, and definitely getting exciting out here, man. All right, and I say exciting because this right here shows that this is at the end of Esau's rulership. We are at the end of his rulership, man. All right. It says Trump warned by Walmart, Target, and Home Depot CEOs that disastrous tariff policy will lead to empty shelves. All right. And there's no sign, there's no no sign of Esau Trump, reneging. All right. All right. And pretty much, man, this is the will of Yahweh Shema Shah, because this is prophecy. All right. And I'm going to get some precepts. But yeah, man, it says Trump warned by Walmart, Target, and Home Depot CEOs that disastrous tariff policy will lead to empty shelves. And ultimately, these Walmarts, these Home Depots, these Targets, they're going to be emptied, all right, and become a place where prisoners are isolated. All right, that's what is going to happen here. All right, these Walmarts, these Targets, Home Depots are going to become concentration camps. You see, this is the plan. All right, of the elite. So when we read down here, it says President Donald Trump got a scare from CEOs of the nation's largest big box retailers that their shelves could soon be empty as a result of his draconian tariff. All right. Draconian tariff. Let's get that word, draconian. It says draconian describes something, usually a law, policy, or punishment, that is excessively harsh, severe, or cruel, often to the point of being unnecessarily strict. That's right. It says the term originates from Draco, an Athenian lawmaker, right? He was the first Athenian lawmaker known for creating a strict and harsh code of laws, right? All right. Now, let's go into the book of Revelation. You see, because this is prophecy, man. All right, this is what we gotta understand. This is prophecy becoming alive right before us. Okay, right before us, man. Right before us, these prophecies are coming, are flourishing. All right, we're definitely in the time where Yahweh Shai is going to return. All right, and we're gonna be here to see it. All right, because that's what we're all waiting for. That's what we're waiting for, man. This is why this is what we're waiting on. The return, why to see how Shai crack those skies open and appear in a fashion that that's been talked about by by the prophets. All right, that's what we're waiting on, man. So let's get Revelation 13. Okay, here we go. He said, Revelation 13:11, it says, and I beheld another beast. That's right. Coming up out of the earth. Right. This is going into the America being established. All right. So it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. That's right. It says, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he spake as a dragon. Right. That's where you get the word Draco. That's what it's going into those harsh laws that we just read about. All right. And he spake as a dragon. That's those harsh laws and policies being implemented. All right. We seeing that now. All right. So he said, and he had two horns like a lamb, right? Because those two horns represents those two parties, the Republicans and Democrats. All right. And said like a lamb because this whole time, and I believe Trump is a Republican. All right. And they seem harmless. Like they were for the people. All right. That they don't mean you American citizens no harm. All right. That's why I said like a lamb. They appear to be like a lamb. Then it say, and he spake as a dragon. Right. This is going into the draconian laws. Okay. So yeah, that's get back to the article. Definitely in the time, man. We definitely in the time where we finna see a great famine. A lot of people on the planet Earth is gonna be taken by the famine, man, by the lack of food and water. Watch. All right. It says President Trump got a scare from CEOs of the nation's largest big box retailers that their shelves could soon be empty as a result of his draconian tariff policy announced on April 2nd, according to a report from Axios. As a result, the White House appears to be pivoting to a much softer position on trade. Okay, yep. Yeah, this is good. Right here it says, when you jump down, it says, but CEOs of Walmart, Target, Home Depot privately warned Trump in an Oval Office meeting that supply changes will be disrupted. Supply changes will be disrupted. Prices will increase and that's happening now, man. You know, I would, you know, picked up a small thing of peanuts, and it cost damn near $4 just for that. So the squeeze is real, man. It's happening now. All right. It says that supply changes will be disrupted, prices will increase, and shelves of their stores will be empty. Wow. You know, you're gonna have we're coming into that time where the prophecy of the hyperinflation, super hyperinflation. All right, you read about that in Revelation, the 6th chapter. And a lot of you people finna die, man, for starvation and thirst. All right. Let's get Isaiah 29th chapter. And it says right here in Isaiah 29:8, it says, it shall even be as when a hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. Whoo! Damn. And you see this in a lot of movies, man. All right? I'm gonna read that again. Isaiah 29:8. It shall even be as when a hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth. That's right. In the dream, you know, you had a table, you had a banquet. All right? You had a banquet, you know, in your dream. But then it says, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. That's right. That's how terrible it's finna get out here, man. All right? People gonna be dreaming about food. When in reality, when you wake up, you ain't gonna have nothing. Nothing. You know? You're not gonna be that pleasure is gonna be taken away from you, man. All right? Read that again. It says, and it shall even be as when a hungry man dreameth, man, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. That's terrible. It said, or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and his soul hath appetite. Wow. See, that's how bad it's finna get out here, man. All right. Food is gonna become a food, drink is gonna become a what's the word I'm looking for? I want to use the word exclusive. All right. And guess what? A lot of you people gonna die. Matter of fact, let me get in my pocket for the sword right here. The book of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter. And it says, 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 22. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine. That's right. So that's going to be the cause of a lot of you people's death, man. These people's death. The famine, all right? The lack of, when you go to word famine, it means the lack of food or water. Lack of food or drink. Right? Read that again. It says, 2nd Ezra 16:22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. All right? And it says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. That's right. So you might come across some food. Guess what? You're going to get jacked. You're going to get stabbed, all right, for that food. You're going to get destroyed for that food, man. We're reading it right here. It says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. That's right. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. And there shall be no man to comfort them, to bury them. All right? So, a lot of you people finna die via a lack of food or water. All right? And these stores, and these retail stores, major or prominent retail stores becoming empty. That's prophecy, man. That's in the scriptures. Matter of fact, let's get it. Slocky. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses, right? Because the storehouses are the Walmarts, Targets, all right, Family Dollars, these retail stores. Right now they are full. Okay? They're full. All right? And matter of fact, we're going to come back to that. I was in the store, the Family Dollar store the other day, Salakia. And I came across, let me grab it. I believe I still have it in there. What? Let me see if I can get it. Here we go. This is it right here. Yeah, man. Things getting scarce out here, man. getting scarce out here. Look at that.
It's for $1.25.
For real?
That's why I'm having to use it. It's less material.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, hey, y'all watching on shot gonna make a believe out of y'all. Look at this. Yeah, man. That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, kind. And hey, how about Smell Shy ain't playing, man? All right. So, hey, call out by Smell Shy. And Lord willing, we are exempt from this judgment, man, because this is terrible, man. All right, that's a terrible way to die, starved. All right, that's a terrible way to die, man. And it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Shall suddenly be found empty. All right. So once again, what we reading right here in this article, where is it? In this article, what we reading right here, this is prophecy, man. Trump warned by Walmart, Target, and Home Depot CEOs that disastrous tariff policy will lead to empty shelves. You think it's not gonna happen? Well, we read it right here. See, this is what the Lord says. So this is prophecy, man. This is what's happening. All right, and this is our job to go to link these current events to the word of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Because he said it was gonna happen before he already said these things was gonna happen. All right. He already said these things was gonna happen. So once again, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. That's right. And it's another one I want to get right here. 2nd Ezra, 16th chapter. It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth. Right? The victuals, your food products. All right. Things you go into the grocery store and buy. Right? It says, for behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. That's right. They not realizing that when father didn't realize then didn't think that the prices would skyrocket. All right. You see? So once again it says, for behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Yep. And even then shall evils grow upon earth. Yeah, meaning it's going to get worse and worse and worse. All right? It says, sword, famine, and great confusion. That's right. And once again, verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. That's right. So this is how a lot of people is going to go out, through famine, lack of bread and water, food and water, drink. All right. And if you ain't of the elect, if you of the elect, you gonna get, because he said, my servant shall eat, my servant shall drink, and I is the book of Isaiah. So if you of the elect, you good. All right. If you're not of the elect, you're gonna die, man. So yeah, Lord, we're edifying. Until next time, shalom.